Combo box string is super easy to implement in editor utility widgets, and I will show you how. It is a selector widget that can display a text-based options, and it has a little brother called combo box key that can also display custom widgets. However, in this tutorial, we are going to focus on the simpler option, and we'll create this widget where you can, well, access the combo box, but you can also type your own option, commit the change, and now it's going to be added to the widget. And of course, if you are bored with it, you can just clear options and start from scratch. And you will also have a choice to clear the selection without removing those options. The first thing I'm going to do is to create a widget asset. So let's hit the content browser, right mouse button, navigate to editor utilities, and then pick editor utility widget. I'm honestly picking any of those: stack box, grid panel, doesn't matter because I will replace it anyway. I will call it EUW, which stands for editor utility widgets, combo box, and maybe let's add YouTube tutorial. Now let's open it and make sure the editor is docked in our Unreal panel. I don't like the stack box, and I told you I'm going to replace it, so let's do it. Let's click on the stack box, right mouse button, and I'm going to replace it with vertical box because this is my favorite container. Now we can add our combo box string widget to the hierarchy. So navigate to palette and start typing combo box. We can hide the uncategorized widgets that I created earlier when preparing for this and for another tutorial, and we will be left with two options. Editor utility combo box key, which is the more advanced one that I'm not going to cover in this tutorial, and the one we are looking for, which is editor utility combo box string. Let's drop it into the vertical box, and we already have something on the screen. But because the screen must be appearing very small for you, I'm going to just scale it so I can zoom it, and it is more visible. If we compile and run the editor utility widget right now, we will have the widget working, and it doesn't really need any additional setup on the nodes. However, it is not responsive because if I click on it, nothing happens. There is no options that user can select. We are going to add those options, and first I'm going to show you how to do it the easy way with hard-coded values, and then we will do some magic with the nodes. So let's close the preview widget, select our combo box, and now as options, as the details are visible on the right side, we can just navigate to content, and we have default options. In those options, we can, for instance, type static mesh, and maybe another option is going to be skeletal mesh. Who knows, maybe we are building a mesh processing tool, and this seems suitable. Let's compile and run, and now it is working. The only thing is that it appears empty, so when our tool is presented to the user for the first time, we are literally forcing him to select something. Maybe we could pick static mesh as a default value. That would be much better. So let's go to content again, selected option, and here we have to type the exact name we have in our array. It has to be a string. Sorry, but if you type 0 or 1, which corresponds to the index, it is not going to work. Now compile again, run, and it works. And actually, you are even able to see it in the preview here. But the thing is, this may not satisfy many of you. Maybe you want to fetch those options from somewhere else. For instance, you have a lot of plugins, and depending on which are enabled and available, you will display different options. So when the widget is constructed, you query Unreal, you find out which plugins are available, and then you construct options. Or maybe you are just fetching data from the data table, or even from a remote server. So to implement it, we will have to use nodes. But first, let's make a little cleanup. I'm going to remove those default options and the selected option, compile, save, and so on, but we are not displaying preview yet. Let's go to details and enable isVariable on our combo box. And that means that now we can access it in the graph. But just before we click there, you can initialize this combo box on main event construct, but you could also do it on onGenerate widget when you have some function that creates it. However, just for the sake of simplicity, I'm going to do it in the graph. We have our event construct, which seems to be a suitable place to run it. So let's drag and drop variable with our combo box next to it. Then let's add another node. And unfortunately, in my opinion, instead of searching, it is the best to simply scroll down and find a combo box tab here. We have lots of available functions, but the one we are interested in is add option on the first place. We could now hardcode skeletal mesh here, but you can imagine that this value could be coming from somewhere else. Next, we can add static mesh, and let's connect those together. I am also going to select them and just hit Q on the keyboard so they are nicely aligned. Now we can compile, and looks like I have forgotten to connect this combo box to the target, which is an easy fix. And now run editor utility widget. And it behaves just like with the default options. Nothing is selected, but we can pick a skeletal mesh. So just to have parity with what we had at the beginning, we could add another call to some node, which this time is going to set selection. Let's scroll down to combo box, and set selected option is available. But what's more, if we are using nodes, we can also refer to those options by indexes. But we didn't create it using an array. So I believe we are not really relying on indexes. Let's pick a name. Now, skeletal mesh. Previously, we had static mesh. This time we can have skeletal. And let's compile and run it. Awesome. It is already selected now, but could we have a little more fun with it? Maybe we could have a text field, and when I type in this text field and hit enter, the text field empties and adds a new option available here. And what's more, it even selects it. Or maybe we could add a button that clears the selection or clears available options. Let's do it one by one. So let's close it. Let's get back to our designer and let's focus on the editable text box. When we start typing editable in the palette, we already see that there is editable text and the text box. The main difference is that if we drop editable text here and we just compile and run it, we don't really see that there is something editable until we hover over with the mouse and start typing. So I'm not using this component. I'm using text box, which is way nicer because even in the preview, you can visibly see that this is something you can click. There are different ways of managing text that is in this component, but my favorite one is using bound variable. So just before we do anything in the designer, let's get back to graph and add a new variable. I'm going to call it editable text. It's going to be type of, well, text. Get back to the designer, select this editable text component, and now in the content tab, we have text, and we can use this chain icon to bind it with editable text. So now each time we are editing it, it is automatically refreshing the variable. So we could try accessing this variable in the node graph, and maybe for the first time, let's start just by printing it when we hit enter, and then let's clear the value. To do it, we first have to enable isVariable, and that enables us to create events. We're not going to do anything when the text changes, but we will run our function when the text is committed. So now we have access to the text and we could print it. So let's run print text. And then we could simply clear it. Editable text, drag and dropping here, set it, and we are leaving this empty. Now let's select it, press Q to align, and save, compile, run. I'm going to call it test print, hit enter, and when I navigate to output log and scroll down, I can see my test print. Also, if this doesn't work for any reason, because prints should also print in the viewport, then that means that you have real-time viewport disabled. Just to check it, you can use this little button, and here real-time viewport is enabled. All right, but back to our widget. Let's create the feature, right? We are not going to just print the text. We're going to add it as an option. So let's make some more space and get rid of this node. Maybe our text is empty. In that case, we shouldn't add it. So let's drag another node and see. Maybe there is something like is empty available. Well, there is. So now we can use a branch node. We have the branch and everything is going to execute if the value is false because, well, it's not empty. So let's access our combo box widget again. And let's add option node. I'm going to scroll there again, just so you get used to it. Add option. And of course, I know I could have copied those, but I want you to get used to where it is, how to find it. Let's connect it, and we can now connect the committed text value to the option. It is going to add some converter, but this is fine. That's because the types didn't match. And once the option is added, we could also select this option. So let's add another combo box reference, and now set option. Combo box, we have set selected option here. We will reuse this text converted to string. We could double click here to reroute this spaghetti a little. And this would work, but we should also empty the text value. So we can access the editable text here, just set text, and we are going to leave it empty. Let's compile, let's run, let's hit enter, and well, we added a new option. So if you want to copy this blueprint right now, you can just paste, you can just pause, look at the screen, and if you are ready to continue, just keep going with me because we are adding 2 more buttons. Let's go to Designer and let's search for button. We have Editor Utility button, which is what we are looking for. And the first button is going to clear selection, and the other will completely clear the options. So we have to add some text to those buttons so we can see what they are meant for. And let's select the first text. Let's set it to clear selection. Also, we could make the font a little smaller, maybe 12 or 14. And let's do the same with the other 14, and the text will be clear options. Oops, I made a typo. Now, select the button, enable is variable, and because we have more than one button, we should give it clear naming. So I'm gonna call it clear selection button. And let's do the same on the other. Clear options button. Let's enable is a variable, and also on both we are going to scroll down and add on-clicked event. That's on the first one. Let's do it on the second one. They are misordered because the clear selection is first, so I change the order, and let's drag the combo box string. We are going to need it twice, so let's do it like here. And first, let's try clearing the selection. So set clear selection. We don't have to set selected options to null. We can just clear selection, which is great. And in the other case, we are looking for a similarly named function. We have clear options. All right, we can now select it, hit Q, and it looks a little nicer. Let's compile, let's run the widget, and we can clear the selection, then select it again, clear options. Options is no longer responsive, but we can add a new value, test, which is selectable, and well, we can clear it again. I hope you liked the tutorial. I think the other nodes that are available on ComboBox are pretty straightforward, and you can manage learning them by yourself, and I hope it will help you a lot when making your tools. See ya.